Again falling falling 螺旋状に落ちてゆく待てるのに今 falling falling 二人ぼっち気づかないカテゴリーにもどこまでも好み任せていつの間に傷が埋まってく、あの日リンゴの木の下共犯で踏み越えてみた境界線すぐにプラカーの怒りで追い立てられてこんな次元へ俺としたことが俺ごときですら俺に限っていやまさかね君のせいにした秘密を手にした一軸の歯が右左あっという間目が覚めるかと思えば空に落ちてゆくなんというかやめられぬもう一かじり Again falling falling 螺旋状に落ちてゆく待てるのに今 falling falling 二人ぼっち気づかないカテゴリーにもどこまでも好み任せていつの間に傷が埋まってく、Again falling falling 螺旋状に落ちてゆく待てるのに今 falling falling 二人ぼっち気づかないカテゴリーにもどこまでも好み任せていつの間に傷が埋まってく、あの日リンゴの木の下今日
これが最後と決めましたあいつは言った死んだらどうなるそこでナイフが飛び出してあっけなかった涙よりも早くあのねここで消えたら意味ないしろうそくのように固まる血のワルツつなげてない手がこんなにあるのになねえ死んだらどうなるそこで誰を恨みますか矢のように去っては過ぎてく季節譲れないまま持ち直して許せばきっと忘れちゃえ何もかも行く先優しさが立つ帰り道振り返る背に悲しげな眼差しありがとうとごめんを繰り返すまま踏み出した01毎度最高な未来をどうか期待している抗うまま生きる方を受け入れるならば自由を探して回路の想像が定まって僕らはどうかしてく割り切れないこの理由を抱きしめては歌う今日ここで人間やめました重ねのラブゲームもうたくさんでしたキルスイッチ見当たらなくなってどれくらい初めからなかったかゼロが並べば安心です関わりがいるなんて言わせたくなかった寂しさの葉で一人踊れますか錆びたナイフ捨て時は逃した乾かないでこのままダンスダンスローズねえそっちはどうですかさよならがその静けさが澄み渡るさここが始まり目をそらすな言い聞かせては最後の初めましてよろしく眠らないで体が叫んで早金を打て浮き彫りのハート言い残した言葉じゃ頼りないからいつも踏み出す01毎度最高な未来をどうか
遥か遠くに浮かぶ星を思い眠りにつく君の選ぶ未来が望む道がどこへ続いていても共に生きるからずっと昔の記憶連れられてきたこの星で君は願い続けてた遠くできらめく景色に飛び込むことができたのなら一人孤独な世界で祈り願う夢を描き未来を見る逃げ出すよりも進むことを君が選んだのなら誰かが描いたイメージじゃなくて誰かが選んだステージじゃなくて僕たちが作っていくストーリー決して一人にはさせないからいつかその胸に秘めた刃が鎖を断ち切るまでずっと共に戦うよ決めつけられた運命そんなの壊して僕たちは操り人形じゃない君の世界
All right, chat. Hello, welcome. Are you guys doing all right? How are we doing today? Today is a great day. Today is an amazing day. You don't want to know why today's a good day, chat? Because I got to wake up and I get to play Stellar friggin' Blade Cinema. Who doesn't love Stellar Blade, chat? I know you guys do. If you haven't already, make sure to follow. Give it a good schmooch. Alright, but chat, we're gonna go on ahead and we're going to continue from where we left off last night because good God, were we in such a good place. Gaming hasn't been this great in a very long time. No glazing. So we're gonna go on ahead and we're gonna start the stream. I can see that you guys have gotten really into a lot of the consistent streams. I appreciate you guys for enjoying. For sure, I am very pleased to hear all the greatness that you guys have told me about. Now, I'll be honest, I should have why did I do that? Hold on, chat. I gotta do one thing. Oh my God. Before we begin. Steam Deck. Chat, let me tell you, oh my gosh. They're compiling shaders for me, chat. Oh my gosh, the shaders. The shaders. Holy crap. All right, you know, I'm glad that it's at least working. Can we get this? Wow. The freak? Why is it compiling shaders still? I thought I personally thought that it would have done that yesterday. I mean, because the game, that was the first time the game had been open. But I'm guessing that I might have been incorrect on that. All right, so we're just gonna do this. Just do this really quickly. Hold on, chat. Give me 1 second. Sub chat, slow chat. It's not like I'm gonna have a slow chat for a while. Where's my OBS? Screen. Oh, my scenes. Yes, this is what I need. Yes, this is what I need. Yes, that is exactly what I need. I need my title, buddy. You know what it is. Okay, chat. Hold on. Why is this not working? Okay, that's right. Yeah. And this is left. That's face, and this is I will do, yeah. Yep, so it works. All right, chat. We are here to continue with a game of the year. Chat. Well, all right, so last time on Stellar Blade, I was doing quite a lot. Hello? Wanna work? Oh no, don't do this to me. We were listening to great music. We fought 2 bosses. Absolutely got pummeled to a bloody pulp like twice. Why is this not working? Oh, heck no, Steam, please work. What? Why is it not? Thank you. Oh my eye, chat. I am like losing my. Oh my gosh. I hope everyone had a good day though. That's the. Huh? The fuck. There we go. Why is it not? What? Stellar Blade, don't do this to me, please. Why is it doing this to me? Oh my god, I gotta do. Oh my god, chat. Oh. What? Please work. Like, come on, man. Thank you. Okay, you're actively working now. Thank you, Steam. Steam, thank you. Thank you, Steam. Thank you, Steam. The last 2 weeks, I played 110 hours of this game. The greatest game ever to be made. God, chat, I have been excited to continue playing Stellar Blade. I have enjoyed my time thoroughly playing this game. Now, I'll be honest, yesterday's stuff was very much so like whoa and wow. I am quite impressed with how what's it called? How great the game is. Okay, I was about to say it better go. Yeah, thank you. Okay, cuz I was about to say you don't do that. Now, I need for like just a second. I would like to see what's going on over here. Thank you. That's all. Now we can go back. Yes. I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop. Oh, wrong one. Hello? Chat, why did... Oh, I am slow. This is the right one. Wait, this is the right one. I don't know why I did that. Oh my gosh, chat. Don't you like the way that the screen looks now? Actually, let me move more left. Hello. But you know, having it like this isn't bad. I don't know why I said that. All right, chat. Now we have to wait for the shaders to compile. I don't know why this is doing this to me. And I know why I have 0 viewers. Yeah, I know I have 0 viewers because people nowadays don't like to wait to share. It's gonna take me about a month to get back to 12. Gotta follow back with what I got. So chat, as we wait, I gotta talk about my day. Chat, you know what I had today? I had 0 food. Which is actually a joke because I did in fact have baked chicken. That's some collard green, and we are back in the game. Oh my god, chat. No one understands how I smile when I see this loading screen. Does that say Stellar Blade X? What? Oh, I can click on this? The only one I will more than likely get is for sure the Nikkei one. I think I'll buy the Nikkei DLC. As a Stellar's tears fall, 2 paths converge. We have officially reached peak in human civilization, chat. Am I lagging? Oh, why is my... Whoa. I can adjust Eve's ponytail? Are you serious? Okay. What's wrong with my... Hold on, chat. We might be back. Oh my god, chat, we're back. Yeah! I love Stellar Blade. All right. Great game, great combat, just great. So I can adjust her pony. Hold on, because that was not there before. They did not. No one had ever said, hold on, chat, I gotta do one thing. No one had said that I can adjust your ponytail ever. Okay. This is a are you serious right now? Moment. Okay, that makes sense. Let me do the following chat. Hold on. Even though I would like to, yeah, we gotta exit program. Even though I want to exit program. Even though I especially want to with this exit program. I think everything else is. Everything else is good. Green, wrong, green. Okay. Memory doesn't matter to me, but as long as this is working, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. There we go. All right, chat. We should be back now. Oh, all right, chat. So they said I could change her ponytail. Now I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of curious to see how that works exactly. Like where would somebody and not why am I, dude? Okay, I normally don't have this many issues when streaming, but why is the volume so low? Why is the volume so low? Like, what are we doing? Hello? All right, there we go. All right, we should be fine now. Thank you, God. Finally. All right, we can get some good gameplay after like 10, 17 minutes. My goodness. All right, chat. You know, we got some new ones. What is this? The dozer? That thing is ugly. Let's see here. All right, the guards are fine. Oh, wait, I have different what now? I can do aerial blows. Hold perfect. Okay, so it's X and then Y. No reflection. Oh. So how do I want to see, I have to see this now because this is gonna bother me. They said I can change her hair. I want to know. I have to know. Like, how do I change her name? Like, how do I change her hair? I want to know now. I want to. I want to know how I do it. Cause honestly, is it over here? I feel like it would show me equipment. I feel like it would show me under equipment, right? No, okay. So nothing at all. Okay, all right. Well, let's get back into it. All right. So last time we were talking with Adam in order to have the ability to therefore get back into it. And so now we need to go over to the bookstore to go grab him one of these to get him a cell. All right, chat. He wants one of these cell things so he has the ability to get off of this Earth, this planet. That's what I'm getting from this, okay? But I kind of want to. What the fuck? All right, that's like my favorite one. Oh, I did not realize. I have like 2 favorite combos so far. Oh my god. Ooh. I mean, if he wants to, I mean, go right ahead, please. What? I swear to God I moved that. Okay. Ooh, okay. Alright, well I stopped him from doing that. What? I pressed my button. I know I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, I still got it. There we go. Ooh, I still got it. I still got it. Oh my gosh. Most fun game. Ooh, hold on. That's okay. The purple one's is the back one, right? All right. I need to remember it. Ooh. All right. Let's see here. Can I? Okay. All right. I think we should be good now, chat. I just wanted. I wanted to get a. I just wanted to remember. So I can change. I want to know how I can change her ponytail because her ponytail's so long, chat. Wait. Oh, it doesn't work that way. Where I can't like. As soon as he wants to do a. There we go. Oh my gosh. Ooh. I've got. I think I've got it. I think I've got it. Yep. Yep. I've got it quite well. Okay. All right. Well, I'm ready. You know, honestly, chat, while playing, it kind of reminds me of Nier. Gonna be honest, but this is just a better Nier, chat. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. All right, now we can get back. Oh, okay. You know what? I for some odd reason thought I was back at the entrance for the apartment complex, and I was about to be pissed. I was like, "You what?" I was about to say, "You're telling me I'm what now?" Fixed damage booster. Okay, I don't need any of that. And are you sure I can't? Because now I'm curious to know, can I really change her stuff? Oh, I can't. What? Oh, whoa. Is that what her hair looks like without it? Hold on, now I'm curious. What if I changed it all the way? What if I scaled it all the way down? Would she even have a ponytail? Okay, it says no ponytail. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, chat. I don't know if I don't like the no. Actually, well, her hair doesn't look bad, but it looks better with a ponytail. You know, it just looks more clean, more put together, more just. We'll do it. Well, I don't mind a short ponytail. That I don't mind. I don't mind a short. Oh, we're here.
Where's the transportation device?
Try activating this monorail panel.
Okay. We'll do.
There is no power.
Oh no.
No worries. Let's check the power control room under the stairs.
Under the stairs. Oh, over here. Okay, because I was about to say no. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. All right. Now that we have it this way. Transmitting, initiating. Transtar.
You have to reorganize the code in order to restore power.
Oh, wait. Okay, I see. Oh. Wait, what? Am I? No, I can't. Wait, but I'm missing one. Okay. So, oh, but I'm also missing 8. So, if I do this. No, the power's going to that. So, wouldn't it work as if I did this, then this? Or would it work if I did this, then this, then this, and then this? No. Okay. What if I did this? And then this. Nope, won't work because I have to get that over there. And okay. Damn. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so 3 over there, then it needs to be what? So then that's just 1, 2, 3. Where? Okay, what if I did 6 here? 6, but then I would just miss 1. Darn. This is a bit frustrating. Hold on. I want to go back and hold on. Wait, don't close up. I'm not done with you yet. So Ooh. Darn. Well, it would make sense if I did this. No, 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 no. You here. Oh, I'm missing two. No way. Oh, no way. Really? I'm missing two. What? Damn. Wait. Okay, how about I try this? One. Then I put three over here. Oh, it's because I have to. Okay, then. Yeah, this would be the only way I could do that. Is if I do it that way. And then. Hold on. So then this is going up there, and then 8 is going. So then. The only one that would work is if I. No, because you don't have anything. Because it would have to be 2 over there. Let's see here. Damn. So it would go 8, 6, 1, 3, or is it 1? So or is it 8, 3, 1, 6, 8, 3, 1? No, it can't be because guess what? I don't have enough power for that. But the first 3 I do though. I feel like I wish I had another number. It says activate the rail by supplying the power. Okay, which because if it's just doing it like this, that means that 8 would go here, and 6 would go here, and 3, then 1. But as you can see. Oh. So 6 and 8. 6, 8. What if I... Okay. Darn. Damn it. Oh my gosh. Chad, if I told you, what if I didn't know? What if I told you that? Okay, I think for me, right? I feel like it would make more sense if there was another... Like if there was a way to get another one. Like, for it to not... For there not to be another one's kind of like a what? But I guess... I guess it's fine. I'll see here. Oh, maybe there's one up there. No, there's not. There's not one up there at all. Oh! Okay. Okay. was like, oh, I did it. No, I didn't. Three being over there isn't a bad thing. How? No, 8 has to stay over here. Or what if I just did this? Oh! Perfect. I'm like, okay, well, if that's not working, then I need to at least try and space them out.
That's great. Try activating the monorail panel again.
Alright, we'll do, Adam. Alright. Let's see here. That puzzle was a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Something is heading our way.
Don't worry. It's the monorail.
From the old days.
This ancient electronic device is our transport.
All right then. After you.
Okay. Anyone in here? Anyone testing, testing? Nope. I generally do like, oh my gosh. No face, like no facial expression at all when Taiki died. She was just like, oh, I'm dead.
Eve, are you alright?
She is not alright, man. I don't even know why you're asking this question.
Oh, I was just remembering something from yesterday.
At least this place is pretty. I'll say that. At least this place is pretty.
The city, it's so quiet and so lonesome.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in...
That's what happens when a city becomes devoid of humanity.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Eve, what are you going to do after you defeat the Alpha Natiba?
All airborne squad members exist for one sole purpose. All we must do is complete the mission.
You mean the extinction of all Natibas? Right?
Mm.
Think that the point of your existence is to snuff out another species. No fun in that.
But you can always save us, Adam, right? Is that what's gonna happen? Why? Why is her hair doing that? Why is her hair... Okay. Maybe it's because they just were not ready for Ace.
We're here. Do you want to get off?
Yeah, why not? Wait, whoa, 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 hey! You're serious? I just wanted to see what was over here. Okay, so I guess it will not allow you to move as the monorail's coming back. I guess that makes sense. Okay. I guess that makes sense. I just wanted to see if there was anything over here. Now wait a damn minute. Now hold on here. I did not... Are you serious? Are you serious? I did not consent to this. I did not consent to this. Why is it taking so long? Adam's over here just chilling. I'm not gonna lie. Now, personally, I think maybe for the no. I like this outfit too much. Oh, I like how she kind of like gets on it. Oh, my eye. She's puffy. Did I already mess up the game? What do you mean you want me to get off here? There's nothing over here. Am I crazy? Oh, why? I don't know why. Ever since I've been playing this game, I don't know why I do this. I don't look around. I don't. Like, that makes sense. Flooded commercial sector.
Looks like this used to be a plaza.
The music in this game is beautiful.
Except it's underwater now.
Oh, lovely.
The good thing is you won't have to go in the water.
Oh, even better.
The Hall of Records is that way.
Thank you, Adam. Adam, you are so monotone. It is actually it is pretty funny. Oh, and there we go. All right. Ka-ching. Thank you. All right. Time to set my bad self down. All right. Oh, and now we are going to say bless you because it is time to be blessed up, right, my chat? All right. Do I have any skill points? I really want skill points. Like, I really want skill points. If I can get some skill points, that's not a bad idea. Okay, no skill points? Fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right, let's see.
It might be best to stay away from the water. Looks like there's electricity running through it.
Oh. Okay. I mean, I wasn't going in the water anyways, but now that you tell me that, but wait a minute. All right, basically like just like a frame. So like I'm a robot, so I should have no issues. Okay. Come on. Oh, oh. There we go. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, not happening to somebody. Ooh. Oh, it's time to
As
look
I
around.
thought.
It's locked.
The security code will be in one of the Legion's soldiers. We have no choice but to search them all.
Now wait a damn it. How do you know that?
Let's look for the Legion in the square building.
Square building? How do you know that, Adam? Actually, no, the question is, why do you know that, Adam? I was just ready for the... I'm just... Yeah, this is what I'm waiting for. Okay, I thought I did that correctly. Oh, well. I'm not too worried about it. All right, let's see. Let's continue. Investigate. Says something is falling from the sky. Did we get an orbital bombnet warning? Jesus. Anyway. Okay, hold on. Come on. Oh. Damn it, I had it. No. Oh. There we go. Honestly, the combos in this game aren't that bad. Okay. Just want to make sure that the game is running nice. You know, okay, I was expecting it to just like kind of like electrocute me, but I guess not. Oh, this way. For no reason, and I'm here for it. Not a single thought behind doing that. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's nice of him to do that. Ooh, no. Did I not? I did not do it on time, I guess. Okay. Alright, you know what? Let's go. Come on. What? Yeah, I'm not letting you punch me. My gosh. Alright.
I see a hidden note here.
AAU. Alright, I just don't. I will not remember that, but okay.
Great. Let's go back.
Hold on, I just want to make sure that the game is. Just want to make sure that there's no stuttering at all. Chat. Just want to make sure that everything isn't looking too bad. Oof. Hold on. The last time I did this, I said I wanted this. No. Hold on, chat. Give me 1 second. I gotta go do one thing. I'll be right back. Hold on. My eye's bothering me.
Shopping done.
meet airborne squad members from the colony often?
No, not really. Yesterday, I just happened to be around the area. I've never seen such a large-scale airborne operation.
Why did you save me?
I'm not really sure. It just felt right. Like I was meant to. It's hard to describe. It's just a short, intense feeling. Just what you'd expect from a pro. It's a bit too far for that. How about you try jumping and dashing? Everything looks like an apocalypse.
What?
Nothing. Just talking to myself.
I need a 4-digit password.
Another headache. Okay. This sign reads time. Could this be connected to the clock tower? I can see the Hall of Records. We're almost there now. It's a victory monument. The Hall of Records is under there.
Nothing's happening.
It wasn't like this before. The system was put through a reset when the power was cut off. I'll have to verify the credentials once power is restored.
Why don't we force our way in?
Let's not do that. If the safety system goes off, we'll never be able to enter. Let's look around the Victory Monument first. to the power control room. We'll need to restore the power. These stairs lead to the power control room. It looks like the fusion cell's dead. Wait, I'm sensing another fusion cell around here. Great. Power has been restored. Let's find a Legion soldier with access codes. We won't be able to enter without access codes. Let's look around the Victory Monument first. I scanned the credentials. We'll head down to the Hall of Records now. I can't believe we're in the Hall of Records. It's like a dream. Now, all we have to do is find the hyperdrive.
At the start of the 22nd century, humanity's right to life was threatened by advanced global warming. Having foreseen this, Mother Sphere ensured mankind could meet this challenge. The eons-long process of natural adaptation resolved near instantly. The body cell replaced the heart and made it possible to survive in environments without oxygen or water. Thanks to advances in biotechnology and nanotechnology, the inconveniences of aging and disease were a thing of the past. This created giant leaps forward in the development of hazardous industrial spaces and space itself. We can now withstand the crushing pressures of the deepest oceans and even exit a space station without the need of a spacesuit.
Have I been talking this I haven't been talking this entire time? Oh, that just pissed... Yo. Yay, I appreciate it, man. That just pissed me off. I've been speaking this entire time, talking about how great this game is, how I'm like going back and forth through shit. That just pissed me off. Okay. No, but what I was saying is that I am very like invested, and I want to understand like where in the world do we go from here? This is such a pretty game. Oh my god, this hole is huge. I can't believe I've been muted that entire. That just pissed me off. That was unfortunate. All right, but how are you doing, Yang? Hopefully you're doing well, man. We're playing. What kind of game is this? It's Stellar Blade. It's a what's it called? It's like Nier. I've heard about it. I've been wanting to play it since they had it under the name Project E back in 2020. Okay, let me lock them.
Only hope for survival can be found in Mother Sphere.
Okay.
Please enjoy the harmony and prosperity of Ada 7, the first city ever built by Mother Sphere, the mother of...
I have no idea what that was all about. Adam, did it make any sense to you?
Mankind's past was buried with the final war. This must be a video from before that time.
Okay.
Cell. Is this what you're looking for?
Yes, you can extract it from the hyperdrive.
And if I do, how cooked am I, Adam? You wanna tell me that, Adam? How cooked am I if I do this? Oh my god, it's like a friggin' like a gun.
Great, we accomplished our first objective.
First.
Let's go before the emergency power runs out.
Yeah, why would he want something like that? Wait, I don't trust Adam. Why would he need something like this? Bro has done nothing to show me or prove to me that he needs this.
We got it. The hypercell. This is going to do a lot of good.
In what way?
Eve, thank you.
Okay. Then, can you tell me where the Alpha Natiba is?
Oh yeah.
Of course. It isn't far.
Yes, thank you. I kind of want to roam around in that area a little more. Darn. Oh. What are we doing? The hell is this? Dude, the monsters in this game are disgusting. A boss? Okay. You wanna, oh, whoa. You wanna take to the tango, buddy. But I don't need a partner. Oh, yeah, I don't need that. Ooh. Come on, back up. Back, I say. Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm backing up. I'm backing up. How much damage did that do? Okay. Ooh, thank you. Come on. Oh my god. Oh my lord. It's acid. What the hell? Buddy just comes out of nowhere and then proceeds to absolutely destroy me. My entire... What? I'm not that far back, right? I'm not that far right. Yeah, I don't think I am. Actually, alright, you know what we will do then? Getting some of that, that's not a bad idea. No, I don't personally believe that. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be okay. I will say, I do appreciate the music change. This is a good change of pace. Alright, let's get down there. Don't know why this area is allowing me to lag as much as I am, but okay. Actually, no, it's not. It's not lagging anymore. All right, we're good. Yeah, I'm ready. Come on. Come on, fuck boy. Come on. Ooh. Oh. thank you. All right, please. Come on. Come on. Woo! See, chat, this is why I said I wanted to train earlier. So I wanted to get better at what I was doing. Oh. Did I? Hold on. Woo! Okay, I see. I was worried about that at first. It was like, no. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, and that's just nasty. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like every time I get that second one, I'm doing pretty well, but then as soon as I try going for the third, woo! That I've got. This I've gotten down. It's just the other attack I have, the other dodging. Ooh! Oh, okay. Come on, please. Oh my lord. Goodness graciousness. Thank you, Eve. Thank you,
You're gonna be
Eve.
totally exhausted before we even get to the Alpha.
Thank you, Eve. A weapon core made for enhancements for what is it called? A blood edge? Oh, okay. Going the right way. Yeah, no, Move! I'm not dying to this random roach. Hello? I know I clicked my button first. Thank you. But this is a really fun game. I want to be very honest. This is such a fun game. There's like literally, I don't think there's a game that I could confidently say that is as fun as this. And it's also the one game I've actually avoided. And I can say it's been the one game that I've been most hyped for the decade. This, and there's one other game that I can't wait to come out. And when it comes out, I'm really excited. Okay. Have health? Good. And goodbye. Alright, let's see. No, I had it! I could have... Oh my god. I gotta deal with this. Oh, thank you. Goodness, that shield breaker thing is so strong. It's a lot stronger than I thought. You. Oh my gosh. Ooh, all that. A Tumblr expansion. Tumblers. Ooh. Shit, look how pretty this is. Wow, that's really beautiful. Oh my goodness. What are the animation for? Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. All right, and up we go. Ooh, camp. Yes, this is exactly what I needed. Put that bad boy in there. And now we are up and ready to go. Let's make it happen. I love this music. Oh my gosh. Chat, I'm not gonna stop. I will not shut about it. The Song of the Wanderer? We hear this. The Song of the Traveler? No, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Oh my gosh. Alright, now the question is I have 3 skill points? Okay, let's see here. We can spend it on some stuff. Should I do more attack? Survival maybe? Oh, let's see here. Have the perfect parry, okay. Make it easier to blink and repulse. Okay. Well, I'm not too worried about that. But if the bait is to kind of upgrade my stuff. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to does this to every shield. Okay, and then the one I will do, lightning rush. I want to make a lightning rush more effective. There we go. But having 3, that's
Should we head down
diabolical.
again?
No, just follow the path and go straight.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Let's see this. Construction zone.
We've come quite far.
We have.
How much more do we have to go?
We just have to pass that sewage facility.
Are you serious?
There must be a way to get across.
Couldn't we just jump on?
We can build ourselves a bridge if we use that crane.
But why? Adam, you obviously don't know what too much work is. Come on, man. Oh, this way? Okay. Oh, and we get a little stopping station. Thank you. Even though the other one was right there. Alright, so I'm very grateful. Oh, grateful for these checkpoints. All right, nano elements. Yes. Success crit damage increased by that much. Let's go. Oh my gosh. I can enhance my tumbler core in my case. All right, and then my gear socks. Okay. Oh, it seems as if Adam wants to talk. Oh. What does he have to say?
I have a question.
What is it?
The hypercell. If it sustained the Hall of Records until now, it must be a huge source of energy.
Yeah.
Yes. Even compared to a fusion cell.
Then, where are you planning to use this energy?
Thank you. We're asking good questions.
Well, it's kind of a long story. But I can explain more when you come back.
So you want me to do,
Understood. Loud and clear.
you want me to do all of this, not ask any questions, and then come back to you? Something suspicious, buddy. Adam's a little sus, chat. He's a little sus, chat. He's a little sussy. He's a little sussy. I don't know if I like that. Chat, I don't know if I like that he's sussy. Alright, what's over here? Operate, thank you.
Try using the crane.
Brother, what?
It's not working.
But there is power. That's strange.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we need an ID card if we want to operate it.
How do you know that?
3 of them, actually.
What?
If the ID cards are needed for the crane, then they should be nearby. I'll look for the closest one first.
Okay. So they're all in those little blue cells. Alright, cool. Which means it's time to climb.
You can take your time.
I cannot take my time. Dude, what? Oh, me days. Oh, you. Okay. Yes, you're right, Adam. I would like to do all of that if once I'm not fighting. I promise, we'll figure all that out as soon as I'm not fighting, okay? Okay. I'm just... Can I... Oh. Planned. To make gear slots? Okay. Oh. Ooh. I killed him even before he could even do anything. Man, I'm getting good at this game. Alright, every time I see those chat, I'm just so used to like... Ooh. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ooh, imperfect. There we go. Okay, so I might as well go up, right? Or well, let's see. Let's see. I've seen a movie like this before. It was a film with a predictable storyline about mankind winning against alien monsters that invaded Earth. At the start of the movie, the monsters slaughtered humans left and right. Even so, armed soldiers aren't able to do anything until the main character appears. We're playing the role of those soldiers. Wow. That must be messed up to feel that way. To know that, like, you are just... Yes, I do know what my objective is. I can't walk around. I can't look around. Okay, perfect. Another tumbler. All right. Let's see, can I go up here? Oh, I can. Can. Oh, I can do, oh, I really can just go up here, huh? Let's see. Where do I need to go? Which way? Oh, I can go that way. I'm surprised that they didn't load in. Maybe I go this way? Cause you are the only exception. Oh, I don't know why I chose it. Nope, you're losing it. Nope. Woo! A cricket butcher. Those crickets have got to go, Chad. You cannot be a cricket. If you're gonna be my cricket, you cannot be. Alright, Chad. So it says I can. I kind of don't know any other way to get up there. Ooh, yes I do. What am I talking about? Yes I do. No? Okay. I guess I can... Nope. Wow. I took all that damage for what? Okay, it's fine. Operate it. Come on.
It's the lift that goes to the upper floors. We need power to make it move.
Okay. What the hell? Oh my gosh. Bro. Oh my god. Is that Fear? Hello Fear, how are you doing? Can't believe Rose's name is still Snot Fear. How are you? Thank you. How are you even, Fear? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Has school started for you, Mr. Sophomore and Mr. Junior? Gosh, chat. You guys. No. You haven't started school yet? What? No? Damn, I'm not gonna lie. I thought, oh, here we go. There's one of them right here. Okay. I did it wrong. September. I forgot. You're yeah, you're up north, so it's different for you than it is for like the rest of the world. Cause I'm used to what's it called? Living in the over here, things are a little different. There we go. I don't know why that took me so long. Holy crap. Thank you. Is this not it? Well, you're telling me that what I just grabbed wasn't it? You're serious? Are you serious? Yeah, buddy. I don't know who you thought. Cause I would like to know. Oof. Deadly kick. Kick from the Amazon. Actually, I like how like if I do it from over here, it doesn't even lag. Okay, so another question is but have you had a good summer so far then, Fear? Have you gone anywhere? I mean, I will say over the summer, I did do some streams. I was in, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. You do anything fun yet? You went out? I heard everyone's been going to some concerts. Don't know if you went to any like Kendrick or anybody else. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, I went to a country fair, cinema. Who doesn't love a good country fair? You know, it reminds me of the time I went to a country fair. No, country. A county. I knew that. I'm totally not dyslexic. I totally did not read what you said as country. Of course not. Who would ever do that? A county fair. County fairs are cool. County fairs are fun. County fairs are real fun. Especially when you go with people. Go with friends. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Okay, thank you. I'm so sick of this upper. Like, you gotta go. No, you gotta go. I'm sorry. I refuse. You gotta go. He just keeps coming out of nowhere. Bastard is anywhere but where he needs to go. I don't know why I got that attached to me, but okay. But now I need to go this way, so I'm fine. But yes, I was going to say, how was it though? You know, in Maryland. You know, we all love Maryland. Did you go? Was it in like B-more? Oh my gosh! Why am I stuck? Chat, why am I stuck? It was good. I'm glad. I haven't gone to a county fair in years. Last time I went was actually the first year I started. How the fuck do you? How? Yeah, get me out of here. Got an ad? Oh. All right. Thank you. Are we done? Thank you. Good God. Can I jump? Thank you. No absolute way. Oh my God. It is the worst feeling fighting two things at once. Because they just start doing stuff like this. The double teaming has got to stop. What am I fell down. It's not like they're gonna come down, are they? You know, hello? Are you serious? Okay, I guess. Ooh. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, that was just, what the hell? Alright, can I jump? Yes! No, go back. Come on. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Oh, perfect. Honestly, it's kind of insane, like, to see how much, like, mobile. Dude, I'm so tired of these crickets. They have to go. Oh my God! You want me to deliver multiple charges after going red? Okay. Yeah, a problem. That's what that guy is. A problem. Because the hell? Over at least trying to get some. So the other thing that I grabbed was not it.
Great. Let's look for the rest.
Oh my God. Okay. A human that way. So obviously the smart thing is to do is go down and not. Okay. I was trying not to fall. Thank you very much, but now I gotta, oh my gosh. If there's a human that way, that means there's something over there. Okay. Not bad. Enhanced nano element. Did you move? Why does the background look different? No, I didn't move. What happened is that I actually got a new PC. So I changed up a few things. No. I have not moved. What am I supposed to do in that situation? Come on now. No, I got a new PC, and so I did a little bit of some moving around in my room. You know, wanted to try something a little different and go from there. Yeah. I'll be honest, it's been I like the new and improved stuff. It's nice. It looks good, and on top of that, you know, I'm starting to feel good. Yeah, cause wait, what? Did I not go over there? Huh? Okay. I know I went up there. What are you talking about? Yes, I did. Oh my god, I didn't go up there? Yeah, but no, I changed up a few things. I changed my room, and also I've been out doing stuff. So I've been touching even more grass. So, you know, I could look a little, you know, slimmed down. You know. Nothing could stay the same forever, you know. Please stop. No, stop. Question is, how the heck do I get up there? And the question is, I know what the hint is, yes. But it's not like you're showing me exactly where said hint is. It's not like you're gonna allow me to get up there. Where do I go? Okay, enemies are up there. So it's not like I can go over here. So I need to go figure out a way to get up there. Okay. I gotta figure that out. Alright, what if I tried going back up here again? Maybe that's what I need to do. Whee! Plus, I also changed where my camera angle is, so that's probably what you're referring to here. Okay, so that was an easier way to get up there. Now, is there any way I can just... Let's see, maybe I can go left? Oh my god, I see it. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Wait, why? Strange. Well, hold on. Let's check. Yeah, I need to go over there. And nothing's gonna let me get over there? Nothing's gonna let me get over there? Not a darn thing. Are you serious? Okay, I'm taking unnecessary damage for what? Okay. Now, we're gonna go back really quickly to, like, to this spot for just a second so I can at least heal. Because this is very different than what I was expecting it to kind of look like. Alright. Alright, healed up completely, cool. Oh, gear slot. I expanded my gear slots, guys. Now, realistically, what does this mean for me? New feature, gear slots? Oh, okay. Oh, I can add another one. Oh. Beta gear, now this is just the other one. Oh. Can I get damage reduction? I like damage reduction. Okay. Let's see here. Is there... You know what? Hold on. I'm not really worried about how. Well, I am worried about how I'm gonna get up there. But it seems as though it won't let me go up there any other way. So I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and change the power. Let me try that. Oh, there's another way over here. Ooh. That I wasn't even looking at. Oh my gosh. Come on. Oh, chat, you see how beautiful, like... Whoa, don't hit me. Do not know why. What the frick? Where did you come from, man? Woo! Thank you. Goodness graciousness. All right. I'm very surprised. Oh my gosh, that does so much damage. Oh. Oh! Whoa! Come on. Thank you. Oh my gosh. And cut in half. All right, let's investigate. Codename Gios has finally been sighted. Sharing coordinates now for reference. Gigas is stronger than any Nebula we've encountered. What? Stronger than the stuff that we're already fighting is kind of absurd. What exactly could the end of this game even look like? Why? Why are you making noise? Why are you making noise? Thank you. Come on. Woo! Beautiful. Amazing. Cinema. Okay, hold on. Let's calm down. 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 Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Come on, let's go. Another, alright. That's 2.
Just one more.
That's 2 out of the 3. Thank you. That obviously wasn't the one that's not rechargeable. Okay. That's supposed to be the backup one, so if anything were to happen, but okay. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know she could do this. Oh my god, I did not know she could even do this. Whee! Alright, cool. Oh my gosh. This is what you get for exploring, chat. Exploration! Boom. Thank you. Exploration. Very much 6,000 is kind of insane. Oh, wait, there. I have some monies. Ooh, alright, so there's some stuff even up here. Let's go. Okay, now we can go down. Let's thank God. Good God. Let's see. Alright, now that I've done that, now, oh, I think it's time to go up here. There's a crate? Oh, there is one with my name on it. Oh. Hold on. Now, wait a minute. Now, hold just a second. Oh, it's saying that I can go up here. Oh, I can't do it yet? Okay. I wonder why it's not letting me. Because it says, oh, come up here. You've got to be kidding me. So I got to get up there somehow. Also, I just want to say the animations are so cool. They were cooking. Alright. Could have just got the. Could have got the assault off. Oh, it's right there. What am I doing? Yeah, no. Okay. Why is it not working? Come on. Thank you. I don't know why my screen wasn't. I had no ability to go on ahead and just like lock onto stuff, but oh well. Unforged.
The lift should work now.
Thank you. Alright. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. I will say, you know what? I don't know if you're still here, Fear, but I will say for my summer, I had a lot of stuff mostly on stream. I will say I did go out of the town. I did an Asia tour. Had a lot of fun. Had loads of fun. Alright, what's going on now?
Wow. What a view.
Yeah.
I
Woof.
wonder what it looked like before the war.
It's pretty.
What do you think it looked like?
Probably insane.
Well, probably upright buildings, well-manicured flora, and living people.
That's it? You have no imagination. Then again, I guess you've never been here before. Imagine bustling streets, crystal clean air, and people smiling everywhere you look.
Mm.
Have you ever seen something like that before, Adam?
Yes. A long time ago.
Hold on. So is he even human? That is pretty.
Eve, are you ready to leave?
I just wanted to imagine what you were telling me.
Mm.
It's hard to imagine. Let's go.
Alrighty. Let us move on, chat. To our last goal. Alright, and all IDs have been collected. Ta-da!
Nice. Now use them on the panel.
I shall. Boom. Whee! I cannot stress this enough how I think it's so funny that the way that her hair is. All right, so there should be nothing left. There shouldn't. From what I can see, there's nothing left. Oh, I forgot that she can just do that in the air. She can just. There we go. Really, the what now? Hold on. What? Okay. Oh, well then that makes sense to me. I think that
Let's go
should
to
be
where
it.
you placed the structure.
That should be it. Should not be that hard to get up there, actually. Yep. See that, chat? Boom. Okay. Why did? Whoa, game. Come on now. See that? There we go. What? Okay, that's actually a little surprising. I thought that would have worked. I actually thought that would have worked. Okay. Well, I mean, no, it's fine. I mean, it's better to know now than not. I can put it all the way down there. That's funny. I mean, I would never do that. Oh. Well, with that makes sense. Well, if that's the case, then okay. Well, then yeah, I see why. I'm like, why am I not making it? That makes sense now. You gotta do it way. Okay, I do it way differently. Way differently. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So you gotta do this one over here. Put that one over here. Okay. Perfect. City
Excellent.
underground sector.
We're almost there. We'll find the Alpha as soon as we get through this place.
Alright, perfect. Alright, now I am hoping that this one area, I really do not want this one area to be like most of the game. That'd feel insane. Alright, let's see beta. Is there anything new for over here? Oh my god, yes. There we go. Alright, actually, no. You know what? We're gonna buy something. For the first time in forever, I just hit my friggin' knee! Oh, my foot! Oh my god, I'm losing it. Lately, I've been losing it. You say, oh, I used to it. There we go. Come on. All right. How much? Look at that. Absolute diva. All right, now it's time, chat. Any enemies? Oh, there are enemies. Please. Ooh, get out of here. Yes. That's one less I gotta deal with. Woo! Beautiful. Okay, you know what? I should have moved. But now that I'm in combat. Alright, start. There we go. That took me a second. My eyes are not what they used to be, chat. Ooh, goodies! Yippee! Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Holy. Alrighty. What is happening for there to be so much, like, of this? Look, I almost didn't. I almost didn't see him. As a rechargeable tumbler. Oh, person. Wee. Hold on. Wee. All right, hold on. Oh, okay. Investigate. He asked if I believe in the Mother Sphere. I said no. He said that it would be less painful if I believed in something. I answered in my head, the only person I believe is in you. I just hope today's not our last. Aw. Not a single soul over here? Okay. It's a little darker for my taste, but okay. Wait, what? It's because I kicked it over. Okay. Okay, huh? Thank you. I am kind of glad that the enemies are kind of like a little bit more. Oh shoot! There's so much over here that I kind of want to just explore now. And oh, it seems like it's loading some new stuff. Oh, it's loading the wrong thing. It's loading. That's why, because it's loading those things. But it should just load this right here. All right, chat. We've been live for over an hour. Holy crap, that's insane. My goodness. Oh, another person. Dang, it's one of her squadron. This is very unfortunate. Oh my gosh, my foot.
May your memories live on.
Body core required for max HP increase. One more. Okay. We will get it. So, you know what? Maybe I can just... Woo! That's kind of insane. Kind of just melting the guy's like HP just like that.
Oh, it's collapsing.
Are you serious? Are we...
Do you think you could come down here?
Yes, I unfortunately think I can. This is sad. What is me fighting him going to do? Probably nothing. Oh well, now I gotta fight you. What? Thank you. Alright. Easy money. Whee! Alright. Over here, anything? Anything of my valuables. Completed setting up the 7th camp, the very last one. Return to headquarters. Sigh. Damn. I'm starting to feel bad for the humans over here, because, like, it's not like they chose to fight the Legion at all. Like, these people are just like, yeah, you better fight them and believe in the Mother Sphere. If not, you're, yeah, you're cooked. It's starting to remind me a lot like of something else for me. Oh, I could go up here. Oh. Okay. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Woo-wee! All right. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. Ooh. Yes, the last human. So now my HP is officially going up, chat. It's time. HP has gone up.
May your memories live on.
A beta core.
Forever.
Oh. Doesn't seem like there's anything over there, but it seems like they have some stuff over here. Yep. Ooh, that's the one we get. I'm not mad at that. That's what we need. Earth has been destroyed by the Nightbait. I just forgot how to say it. Any airborne squad that comes to rescue us are no match for those monsters. She left us for decades and brings us those shabby soldiers. Mother Sphere's omnipotence is meaningless in this world. My memory won't live on. Lament of disappointment. Yeah, sounds about right. Whee! All right, come on. Oh, there we go.
Let's take a short break here.
A short break? What are you talking about? It's not like there's a... Oh. There is. I was going to say, there's not... I was like, there's like nothing over here for me to do. Oh, I guess there is. Alright. We are... Alright, anything? Oh, we've got some stored stuff over here. Okay, no. Any skills? 1. Okay. Well, yeah, no, I kind of would rather just do that. The chain attack one?
We have to open the valve to supply water.
Really? Oh, trying not to alert you guys is so difficult sometimes. Not even Astro Fires. Okay. Woo! Goodness. Alright, and we are making a move on, but before I do that, it's time to go back really quickly so I do not have to, you know, my health. What? Are you serious? Oh my god. Oh, please, thank you. That's what I need. Thank you. Now I get to sit down. No issues. So by sitting down and saving, it respawns everybody? You're joking. Okay. Do I think this is what the frick, dude? And I'm dying over here because I'm like trying to at least kill one of them. So much fun, haha. Come on. So we're just not stopping them. I'm just gonna take one and move on. I knew you had something. Oof. Alright, what's over here? It looks like the network is completely disconnected. I tried reconnecting to it, but nothing works. My head feels so empty. Where's Mother Sphere? I can't feel her anymore. Mother, please save us.
That's our key.
This is it. Alright. Thank you. Use as gear cylinder. Wait, I was gonna say for the sole fact, so I don't have to deal with you later. I just don't want to. Thank you. Thank you for dying for me. I was gonna say, what the hell? Okay. We've got the water going. Okay. That's not bad. Is it electric? Can I just jump in?
There isn't enough water. Hold on. You have to dive down to open a different valve.
Okay. You know, that was kind of anticlimactic. Holy crap. Oh, it's just not what I thought. Okay. I don't know why. I was like, oh, okay. Well, you want me to dive? I was like, oh, I'm gonna have some underwater stuff. I was like, ooh, underwater. I was ready for underwater combat and all. All right, come on. Let's see here. Can I? Yeah.
We found the key.
Okay, I'm glad. The way you would respond, Adam, it kind of scares me because I feel like you're about to be like, oh my gosh, he's actually alive. Leap, 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 leap. Alright, what's over here? Just another person. Feeling so sad for everybody. This is so unfortunate. Well, is that enough water? That looks like enough water to me.
That should be enough. You can get out by going back to where you started.
Okay. Woo! I kind of wish they had. I kind of wish she had like a dive animation. But oh well.
This way.
This way. Thank you, Adam. Bruv. Can I please? Thank you. I was gonna say, can I please go? Huh? Hey, what? Why am I struggling to get up? Wait, why am I struggling to get up? What? Why am I struggling to get up? That was so weird. Yeah, chat, I'm sorry, I have to spam this.
The exit's to the right. We're almost there.
Oh, you know, that was such a beautiful master bait. That was like the greatest bait I've ever dealt with. You come here. Good stuff.
We're
Finally.
outside.
Thank you, finally.
See that crater over there? That area is Alpha Natiba territory.
What's a drop pod doing there?
And what is that
It was
doing?
abandoned a long time ago. Matter of fact, it's what made this crater.
What?
Wait, that's a 5th Airborne Squad drop pod.
Let's take a closer look.
How do you know this? No, how do you know this? I need to know. How does he know? There's an entire. We're about to enter a boss battle. We're getting into a boss battle, and this is the case. We're getting ourselves into a boss battle. What is this boss battle about to look like? I'm scared. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Thank you. I guess it's time to now rest for a second and now talk to Adam.
Eve, it's pretty faint, but I'm picking up a distress signal coming from that drop pod.
Okay.
That means...
There might still be survivors.
Let's go.
I can't say for sure, and the Alpha Natiba could appear at any moment. So let's make sure we're well prepared.
Uh-oh. They're basically saying, hey, you're getting into a boss fight. You better lock the fucking... Okay. Thank you, game. Thank you for telling me. I have... Ooh. Let's see. Is there any I can... Can I justify any of these prices? What I do want is the Celestial Slash. But then the attack... I think my attack is just... I think the attack is just that. I think it's over. Let's see. Oh, recharges more, but okay, alright, cool. Alright. Well, I guess it's time to begin, chat. I guess it's time to begin. It's quiet. Yeah, we're still getting into a boss fight. God, it's so pretty. Alright, let's just... Yeah, all this... Yeah, we're entering a boss battle. Let's make it happen. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I'm ready.
Let's see what's here.
Do not open.
Wait. I hear something.
The hell are we hearing?
Look up!
Brother, what? Oh, I would have just died. I was not ready for that. Oh my gosh. Wow. What is this? Giggles? Oh my god. Woo! Okay. What? What? Oh my gosh. Oh, fuck! Ooh. Ooh. Oh my god. Woo! Okay, whoa, there. He's not giving me any downtime at all. Is he throwing rocks at me? Are you serious? Like, what's your problem? Oh my god. Okay. Holy. Come on. Okay, I have obviously angered him. Progress. Oh. Woo! Please. Come on. Let me get up. Let me get up and move. Thank you. Woo! Oh my, okay. What was I supposed to do there? Oh my god. Alright, I blocked it? How many do I have left? I have one. Okay. No, back up. Back up. Okay. Come on. Oh my gosh. Oh. I'm so used to doing that combo. Is he throwing random shit at me is not gonna help your case, buddy. Whoa now. Slow your roll. I wanted the okay. With all that HP left, I'm just like, come on now. 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 Let's make it happen. This time, a little accurate. Oh my god. Woo! Come on. I swear to God I dodged, but okay. Oh my gosh. Dodge. 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 Woo! Thank you. Oh my gosh. Dodge. 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 Oh my gosh. Oof. Come on. Come on. Ooh. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, dodge. 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 Oh, why? Oh my god. Yeah, Eve is, yeah, Eve's her. Yeah, Eve's, Eve's doing stuff I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen Bayonetta do some stuff like this, but
My goodness. I can't believe this.
what is it, Adam? You snitch? What is this?
This is the Alpha Natiba.
Oh,
You can tell by looking at its core.
oh.
An Alpha Core.
What's this guy planning?
If she were... Eve.
Hmm?
There's something you need to know. The truth is,
Hello? Here!
Huh?
Somebody rescue me!
a human voice?
In the pod.
If you're there, please help!
Eve is strong as shit. What?
What the? A
Who's
survivor
this?
From the airborne squad.
Were you the one who sent the rescue signal?
Huh?
Who's this?
Yes, it was me. You're a member of the 7th Airborne Squad, right?
Yes. And you?
Right. Let me introduce myself. I'm an engineering support of the 5th Airborne Squad.
Engineer.
Lily Artemis II.
Lily? Oh my gosh,
You
Lily.
can just call me Lily.
Hi, Lily. Oh my god. What was Adam about to say? I want to know what this bastard has to say. So,
So just to recap, you were in that hideout waiting for another squad to arrive for almost 2 years?
And then you met us.
Yes. Thank you so much for saving me.
2 years
I've
in
been
there?
waiting a long time for the next squad to come in.
2 years?
It's been really lonely here.
It's really lucky we were able to find you when we did.
Eve, you're from the Airborne Squad Assault Force, right?
Yes.
Then I can be your engineering support. Of course, I will need proper equipment first.
Equipment? Well, I did want to say something earlier.
What is it?
Actually, there's a city where other survivors, besides me,
Oh!
Really?
So this bastard's been
it's
lying.
called Zion, humanity's last city.
Zion.
If we go there might be people that can help us. I have a safe house with some equipment I bet you would want.
So you're
Then
now
let's
just
head
telling
there
us this?
quickly.
You're just...
Before that, I would like to ask you something. Currently, Zion is holding out under the guidance of Oracle, who is also our spiritual leader. It's complicated. Eve, I imagine completing your mission isn't any easier having lost your comrades. So, please, help me save Zion. If you do, I promise Oracle and I will do everything we can to help you on your mission.
I don't know about that one,
It's about
buddy.
joining forces and helping each other. Just like we did before.
He and
Sound
secrets
good?
to me. I'm not a huge fan of liars, but I'll cooperate right now. I don't.
Yes. Thanks to
Not a
teamwork,
huge fan
I
of
was
them
able to get the Alpha
liars.
Core.
Maybe we can get more information in the city, Eve. Think about it.
Yes. I suppose there's no reason to say no. However, I want to decide after hearing the story from that person you're calling Oracle.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, I can definitely get behind that idea.
Well,
Okay.
I guess that settles that. All right then, let's head to Zion.
Yes!
I guess we're doing it. Let's go, chat. We're going to Zion. I still don't trust Adam, though. Buddy's just been weird. He's been real weird. So I just realized that I've been playing the first mission this entire time. Was this the first area? Damn, this is going to be a long game. I'm here for it. Look here. Let Stellar Blade be even longer. Hell, I might like this game so much I might even start speedrunning the game. All right. Oh, it literally is just like a small city. Okay. I just was not expecting that at all.
Wow! Look at that! It's huge!
It's surprising to see a city in a place like this.
During its prime, over 100,000 people called it home.
100,000 people? Jesus.
Obviously, now there are fewer.
So my question is...
The place you see below is my safe house.
Oh.
The auxiliary engine's output is weak, so things can get bumpy. Hold on tight.
The only character's voice I like so far has been Eve's. Rose about the best of Glenny for all of us. Oh. Okay, that's not that bad. That wasn't bad of a letting.
Wow! A whole city underneath the wasteland.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
amazing.
Actually, you know what? Looking at it, it is kind of that's a lot bigger than I thought.
Even in the darkest times, it's always safe to bet on human survival instinct.
So, where do we go?
No time for breaks. Typical Eve.
Of course not. She's got places to go. She's got the world to save.
Oracle is in the presence chamber. Follow me.
Alright, so chat, I'm going to be honest. I think I'm going to end stream right here. I think this is a perfect stopping point. We've done quite a lot. I can't rush right now? You serious? Oh, excuse me. You serious? I can't... No? Well, then I want to know how many skill points I have now. 5? 3. Oh, la la. Perfect. And then, yep. That is completely officially done. Alright, let's go.
Looks like they built the city deep and high.
Oh my gosh. Jesus, this is huge.
Are all those walls around the city supposed to protect it from Naytiba attacks?
Hey, Tiba.
The walls don't seem to be as reinforced as well as they should be.
Well, I mean, it's not like what do they have to reinforce it? That's my question. Ah. Okay. I like it. Oh my gosh. It's pretty.
Wow, what is this place? I wonder how the colony would react if they knew about this.
Probably
Most
good.
likely there will be a protocol to rescue everyone. It'll be a big project.
But the only way it'll be possible to contact the colony will be to finish the mission.
Yes.
I hope that day comes soon.
Mm. This music is so good.
Why are the streets so empty? Is everyone hiding because of us?
We have a situation here.
What could possibly be the situation?
You'll see when you get to the presence chamber.
What could possibly be the issue? No. I need to know. Adam, what could possibly be the issue? Oh, a little lag, but nothing a little bit of editing can't fix.
Eve, here.
Okay. All right. It's a little... Oh, wow. Okay. I was not expecting it. I guess there was just a lot of chunks in that moment. Oh.
Come on, we're almost there.
Well, I guess we can figure out what's going on. Hold on. Oh, I still can't. Oh. Damn. I'm getting that up a lot. What is this? Replenish ammo? What do you possibly mean by ammo? What?
Hey, Rael. It's been a while.
Looks like you brought guests.
Very important guests. Can you open the door?
Go. Oracle is waiting for you.
Oh.
See you soon, Rael.
Okay.
Good luck.
Not even. You know what? I've got to change it from English. I might have to change it from English. All right, what could possibly? Who is this? Let me see this guy. Huh?
Whoa, this place. This is where the memories are kept, right?
You've got a keen eye. That's right. The presence chamber is where memories are stored.
You know, I just realized.
Memories of those who couldn't make it back to Mother Sphere.
Damn. That's. Wow. That's a lot.
Over here.
I just realized something though. Is now with the thing. What? I just realized now that we have the we took the cell, we grabbed it and everything. Now.
I see we have guests. Welcome.
Hello. Oh my god. So is he like human? Like.
Let me start the introductions. This is Zion's prophet, Oracle.
Oh, he's a prophet.
I'm Airborne Squad member Eve.
My name's Lily. Pleased to meet you.
Lily.
Adam has told me all about you. You defeated an Alpha Natiba. Could you show me anything it might have dropped?
Should I? Well, then, do you even deserve to see it, sir?
Here.
Oh, it's an Alpha Core. Please, a moment.
What is he gonna eat it or something?
Your objective is to rid the world of the Elder Natiba, the leader of all other Natibas.
Yes.
Well, then I suppose you're trying to use the Alpha Core as a key to open the way forward to the nest. Is that right?
How did you know that?
Yeah, how did he know that?
Unfortunately, the nest cannot be opened with the Alpha Core alone.
Okay.
What? No way.
But is there really no other way to reach the nest?
By fusing 4 Alpha Cores together, you create something called a Master Core.
Okay.
Only with the Master Core will you be able to reach the very deepest corner of the nest.
How do you know all this?
Yeah, how do you?
Thanks to my personal link to the facility on the surface, I can search anywhere and everywhere on Earth. All I require is the right amount of energy.
That would also mean you'd be able to track down the Alpha Natiba.
Lily's so funny.
That's
She's so
enough
bubbly.
for introductions. Adam, please insert the hypercell.
So he's probably the one with that who needs the hypercell.
Eve, here.
Like, what do you need the hyper? The thing I worked so damn hard for. What do you need it for, Adam? I actually do like this outfit. I might change it just for the next stream. So I love how he's like Eve here, but like disregarding Lily for all things. What in the world is this?
Hey, Lily, this way.
Oh, it's so dark. I really don't like the dark.
This is the hyperdrive, the source of all of Zion's energy. Eve,
Okay.
The hypercell you brought will bring light to Zion. Here, try putting the hypercell in here.
Oh, he doesn't want to do it. I forgot it. He can't do it because he's human. Okay. So the question is, how many do they have left? That's what I'm thinking out of all of this. All right, we just gotta shove it right in there. All right. Oh my god. Also, there hasn't been power for, I'm guessing, a while.
Is this some kind of graveyard?
No. The people here are in a deep sleep due to energy depletion.
What?
Carrying on this way, it can only bring darkness.
So what you're saying is...
Dave, please help us.
So everyone that was here has been put into sleep to make when the humankind...
The hypercell Eve acquired. They're safe. For the time being.
I'm sorry?
I'm glad I was able to do something of significance.
Do we need more hypercells if the citizens ever want to wake up?
Yes. We need 3 more hypercells if we ever want to fully rebuild Zion.
So then why in the world...
Let's go back to Oracle and you can hear the rest of the story.
Yeah, because I'm gonna need some stories for this, man.
Outsiders, thank you for your hard work. Thanks to you, the lives of tens of thousands of people have been extended.
Okay.
And my personal link is also stabilizing.
That's great news! Does that mean we can figure out the location of the Alpha Natiba now?
All the Elder's energy is still being directed at maintaining the cradle.
What?
Who are you?
Oh, this here is Matt, a Sentinel commander. He also serves as Oracle's bodyguard.
Oh my god.
My skills are still limited, shall we say. So I am not yet able to reach new areas.
Okay.
However, with the power of more hypercells, I'm certain I can track the location.
So I need to
of
go
the Alpha Natiba.
find more hypercells.
That's why I'll have to ask you for a little more help. Altus Lavoir, a place out in the wasteland, a ruin of the past. Can we count on you to retrieve another hypercell from there?
Eve, I'm sure it'll be of help.
Look at him saying,
Yes.
Eve.
We have no other choice.
Eve, save me, Eve. Save our family.
Lily, I'll be counting on you.
It won't be easy. Make sure to be well prepared.
So this guy just looks so fucking cool, but like, buddy just came out of nowhere. Okay. Goodness, man. Hold on.
Angel, I heard you contributed to resolving the problem with the hyperdrive.
Dope.
Keep it up, and do what you can. As long as it benefits Zion.
That's crazy. As long as it benefits Zion. I don't give a fuck what happens to you. Unfortunately, most people. Sad. Alright. It's taking a direction I was not expecting. It's not necessarily a bad one, chat.
Oh, I feel better now that we're outside.
Things can get pretty intense in the presence chamber.
Yeah, that scary-looking guy wouldn't stop staring at me.
I know he doesn't look it, but he's friendlier than you'd think.
Sure about that,
I have to finish the maintenance on the tetrapod before we leave. Eve, can I ask you for a favor?
What could this possibly do?
I ordered a propulsion control board from a parts store called Sister's Junk. Can you go pick up the order and meet me back at the safe house? Feel
See,
free
you
to
seem
look
sad.
around the city while you do.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to borrow Adam's workshop for a bit. I want to tinker with the drone.
All right, let's all finish what we have to do and meet back at the tetrapod.
Okay, the tetrapod is your ship right now. There are people in the world who use help. Listen to their stories and their requests. Okay, you can pick. Oh, okay. Oh my God, the music is. All right. Oh my Lord. If the map will be activated in designated areas, you can check the location of the show. Oh, thank you. You can press the. Okay, yes. Lily's. I can change. I can now change Adam's clothes. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh my gosh. I can change Lily's outfit. Man, fuck that. I'm not changing his stuff at all. I can't even change the appearance of the droid. So then what? This is the Artemis. So beautiful, man. Whoa, hold on. Before you get a little excited, hold on. There we go. I just want to go here for just a second. Well, no, because I do plan on ending stream now. I mean, we've done quite a lot today, chat. I'm going to be honest. We finished the mission. Finished the rest of things. I think this is a good stopping point for right now. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'll be back in a second. Hold on. All right, hold on. The truth? Oh, okay, hold on. Secret intel Edon's company's documents obtained by this paper and published for the first time. The plan to control the media, the Raphael report, led by CEO Raphael Marx, are the journalists who kept quiet about the Edon's company on the list. Do they yield to these threats? Administrations from several different countries were involved, revealed through testimony by several eyewitnesses. Excuse me, Pan potion to dominate the world to come after the new Cold War. The time of corporate liberalism is upon us, and exclusive from our reporter Quinn, only in the truth. Interesting. I really wish there was a way to just, because I really did. I like how the music kind of just changed. Okay, that's cool. So this is a really nice area. Like, I can't even sit here and like lie. It's just, damn, such a fun game. Am I allowed to sit down? If not, I mean, I'm gonna do it regardless. Come on, why not? Oh, the last second. Okay, all right, well, chat, with that in mind, chat, I am going to go on ahead and end the stream. I've had a fun time tonight, chat, playing, getting to learn more about Stellar Blade, enjoying the game for what it is, enjoying Eve's story. Absolutely excited to see where this goes, but I hope to see each and every one of you guys all for the next stream. Hopefully you guys all have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye, chat. Thank you for coming and joining me, chat. Thank you. I shall see each and every one of you guys all later. You guys all have a great rest of your night. I love you all. Peace. Bye.